Hi everybody, thanks for pressing play on the video today. It's Caroline here from craftycarolinecreates.blogspot.co.uk. Today's project combines a few requests that I've had recently. The first request I've had is, can I start Christmas? When are you going to start Christmas? Can you start doing some Christmas stuff? So this is officially Christmas project number 1 of 2015 in August. Can't believe it is that early, but you asked for it, so here it is. And the second request is, inside I've got some really cute little Christmas gift tags, and a lot of people were asking me after I did a project recently that showed you how to make a stationery set if I could show the tag topper punch in a little bit more detail. So hopefully this project will satisfy the appetite of everybody that's been asking for all those things. So first thing we're going to do is make our tags. I'll just pop those back inside, and then we will make this cute little pocket for them to go in, which I think will make a really cute little gift to give to somebody. Or I also think these will sell pretty well at craft fairs, those ladies that do craft fairs. These will probably be quite a big hit. So to make our tag, first thing I have here is a piece of cherry Cobbler cardstock. Measures 2 inches by 4 inches, and what I've just done ahead of time is I have ran that through the Big Shot using the stars embossing folder. So that's put that really beautiful little star texture onto the card that you can hopefully see there. Then I'm going to bring in the tag topper punch. This is the scallop tag topper punch. There are 2 that Stampin' Up sell. This is the scallop tag topper punch, and this groove is 2 inches, which corresponds with our card. So that means we can easily then use that groove to push our cardstock into the punch. Means it's nice and central. Push it all the way to the back, and we just press down, and it puts that really nice scallop shape on the top of our piece of cardstock, and it punches that nice hole through for us as well. Then what I like to do with tags is to round off these bottom corners. We're just going to do that using the corner rounder punch. Okay. And that is one part of our tag done. I've done exactly the same with a plain piece of Whisper White cardstock. So again, started with a piece 4x2, punched up the scallops and rounded the bottom edges, and we're going to start decorating this up. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in some more Whisper White cardstock, and I am going to use the Lots of Joy stamp set, which is a new Christmas stamp set that was featured in the annual catalogue. It's the first time we've seen this, but in the annual catalogue. And we're going to use this lovely sort of tartan plaid Christmas tree motif, which I don't need to get out because I've already mounted it. So it's on my clear bullock, and I've got some garden green. Garden green is a new colour for me actually. Somehow it was one that had just never made it into my collection, so I thought I would add it to the last order, and I'm really liking it. Okay, so just going to ink up that, and then I'm just going to stamp it anywhere onto that sheet of scrap Whisper White cardstock. Okay, I'll put that away for a moment because we will be using that again. This tree has a gorgeous corresponding punch. Here it is. This was in the mini seasonal Christmas catalogue last year, and it's luckily carried over into the main catalogue this year. It coordinates with quite a few sets, so it's actually quite a good punch to invest in. And I'm just going to punch out that tree that we have just stamped. Makes cropping out those shapes super straightforward. Okay, now I'm going to get on to decorating up my tag. And if I just get the one that I'm trying to copy is this one. So I'm going to start with this sort of chevron stripe stamp, which I've mounted again, and I'm going to use cherry Cobbler, matching the cardstock we've already looked at. And I'm just going to ink that up. And then we're just going to put a single line down this side of my tag, even. It's white on white, you can't really see that. If I pick that up, you can see just where I've stamped. And then I'm also going to bring in what I've pre-mounted is a stamp set that says, "May your days be merry and bright." Now, White Christmas is probably my family's all-time favourite Christmas movie. We introduced it to my daughter last year, and she's obsessed, asks to watch it every week. So I just love this sentiment. And I'm just going to stamp that at the bottom corner like that. Okay, you see how beautiful that is? Then I have some cherry cobbler thick baker's twine. If you can see this is kind of like a really coarse wool. It's quite difficult to describe. Sorry if the camera is focusing, but it's really beautiful actually. Again, this was something I've just bought for the first time, I think, on my last order. So I'm just going to use a dimensional to stick that down, and we're going to go about 2/3 of the way up our tag. Sorry, I'll move that scrap out of the way now so you can see a bit better. And I'm just going to wrap that cherry cobbler round. Maybe gone a bit high, never mind. Just going to wrap that round 2 times. Trim that off. Okay. And then I'm going to mount my Christmas tree on top there. Put that dimensional in completely the wrong place, never mind. Just see if I can try and reposition that. Yeah, let's just try and pull this round a little bit. So we want to put the dimensional more over the chevron so that we can cover it up with our Christmas tree. I've kind of done that wrong. So we pull that over and fasten that in place there. Sorry about that. And then I'm sure you're getting used to bloopers in my video now. I don't want to edit them out. Stick some more dimensionals on the back of my Christmas tree. And then we can stick that on now. That's much better, isn't it? Stick that on there, like that. Okay. Then all that is left to do is to bring in your backing. And can you see once you put that red, that cherry cobbler background on, it really brings the tag to life, I think. I've then cut two short lengths of the cherry cobbler baker's twine already. I'm just going to push those through the hole that my punch made very nicely, and then I'll just pull that through. I'm just going to do, not even sure what this knot's called, but I've got a loop there, and I'm just going to push the ends through the loop and then pull that down. You see that gives a really nice way of attaching your tag to your present. Okay, so those are those 2 gorgeous tags. The other thing I promised I would show you how to make is this really pretty little folder that the tags just fit into nicely. This one will take 4 of those double thickness tags, so you could easily also use it to do 8 single thickness tabs. Okay, so how do we make the wallet? I'm going to bring in our old favourite trusty scoreboard and a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Oops, put everything on top of it that I've cut already. It measures 4.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And the first thing we're going to do is with the long length along the top, we are going to score it at 4.25 inches. Okay, going to turn it round, and we're going to do quite a bit of scoring now. So we are going to score it at 1/2 inch, at 3/4 inch, and at 1 inch. And then we're going to score it at 3.5 inches and 3 3/4 inch. Oh, and finally at 4 inches. Bit of a weird angle around the camera for me there, so hopefully you saw that. All of the dimensions will be over on my blog as always. Not sure if the camera's picking up, but you can see those score lines that we have just made. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we're just going to do some trimming. I find it easier to trim before you fold and burnish the score lines in this case. So what we're going to do is cut up that centre score line that we made just up to the 3rd score line. Can you see that? Flip it round, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. And then we just want to cut off those 2 flaps that we've made. So that's cutting up that 3rd score line. Cut those off completely. So you're left with a shape that basically looks like that. Okay, so a bit of a T. Now we're going to do a little bit of stamping before we start folding it up. Now the large bit is going to be the front of your gift box. So what we need to do is, again, using our cherry cobbler ink, we are going to stamp across the lower section. I'm just going to move this down a little bit. Hope you can still see. Yep. Okay, just going to stamp across the bottom there like that. And then another one of these chevron lines coming down like this. Okay, so I'll just let me hold that up so you can see where they are in relation to the score lines. Okay, next thing to do is just to fold and burnish those score lines, but we're doing a bit of a concertina fold. So the first score line we want to fold inwards like this, then the next one backwards, and then the third one back over in on itself like that. Can you see the sort of effect that we've got? The effect that we've got. We're going to do exactly the same on this side too. Okay. Before we stick it all together, you can see if we then fold over the bottom, we're going to get our wallet coming together. Before we fold it up, what we need to do is just cut at a bit of an angle, going down about 1 inch, and cut off the corners of that that section you've just concertina folded, just like that. No real need to measure, but you can of course if you want. And I'm also going to use the 1.5 inch circle punch to make out this little notch section here. And to get this in the middle, what I'm going to do is bring in my scrap Whisper White again, punch out a circle. I'm going to put a wee bit of Tombow on the back of that. There we go. And I'm just going to fix that so on the centre piece where I want it to punch out. Can you see like that? And then I can come in with my punch and line up and punch that circle out there. And as you can see then, we get that nicely in the middle without needing to do any measurements. Okay, now to fold it up, what we need to do is put Tombow along these two flaps here. So this flap and this flap. You could use a tape, you could use fuse. I think fuse gets a bit fiddly because of the concertinas we've just done, but anything like that. So a little, not too much, that's probably a bit much, Caroline. And then what we need to do is just fold over our back, and if you line it up at the top, there's one, and there's two. Okay, and then just press that down and that will stick after a few seconds. This one's a bit too far over on this side, which is why in a way it's good to use Tombow, because it does give you that little extra few seconds of wiggle. Okay, now to decorate it, I'm just going to bring in some of my gorgeous cherry cobbler twine again. I'm going to start this in the right place this time. Get the back off. Okay, so just about 1 inch above where you've done that line, I'm just going to wrap that round once and twice and trim that off. Wasn't stuck down very well, there we go. And to decorate it, I'm going to get my scrap in again and stamp another of my garden green Christmas trees. There we go. Punch that out again with the matching punch, just as we did for the tags. There we go. Oh, it's come off. Yeah. And another dimensional, just time to think a bit higher up, and we can stick on our Christmas tree over our twine like that. That's stuck down. There we go. And just to finish it off, I'm using the Star Bunch from the Itty Bitty Punch Pack, I think it's called, and a bit of gold glimmer paper. Another dimensional. Just need to cut a dimensional down to fit on the back of the star. There we go. and we can put that on the top of our Christmas tree, and then it's ready just to pop in your tags. So there we go. First Christmas project of 2015. I hope you like it. I hope you give it a go, and if you do, as always, I'd love to see your versions. If you'd like to buy any Stampin' Up products, I'd be honoured to place the order for you, so do get in touch. And I'm also starting a database of people that would like to receive the Christmas catalogue, which will be launching at the beginning of September. If you've already ordered from me in the last 6 months, one will be coming out to you automatically, free of charge. If anybody else would like one for free, just send me an email and I will pop one in the post when they are published. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.